I was in a 6-year relationship, ended up having a child in the relationship, and I just knew I was going to get married. You couldn't tell me I wasn't going to get married, but I was the independent, you can't tell me nothing, I make more than you, so I run this household, you don't run nothing, girl. That was me. And it was like clashing all the time. You know, he didn't feel respected. He didn't really feel like I was treating him the way he should be treated. I didn't feel like I was being treated the way that I should be treated. And ultimately, we resolved that it wasn't going to work. There was a lot of other challenges, right, that we had besides that. But, you know, that's kind of what led me. But then I had this whole epiphany. I spent time with God, and he transformed my thinking about what is marriage. So I had to really think about what is marriage, and do I really want to be married? And when I decided that I did, and I got to know what God thought about marriage, I was like, I need to tell people about this. Other people my age, older, younger, they need to know that God has a design for marriage. And when you think about overcoming the enemy, one of the main ploys of the devil is to destroy the family at the root, which is to destroy the marriage. And so this book is written to overcome the enemy and help people to understand, what does God say about marriage, and how do I actually achieve that? So that is what my book is about. And I do have a friend here, Miss Rose, who can you just tell them, you read the book. Can you just tell them a little bit about the book, what you thought?
Well, I felt like something that stood out to me was Addicted to Pain. Mm-hmm. And it just, like you talked about people not really wanting to, like they don't really want to endure pain, but they're so used to it that that's something that they run back to. Mm-hmm. And I could relate to that in my story and just some of the stuff that I've been through. And I thought that chapter to me stood out a lot. And I was like, while I was reading it, I was like, okay, she knows what she's talking about. Like, this is something that I experienced, and I'm still kind of like trying to overcome. Mm-hmm. But I did read your book, and I loved it.
Thank you. So that's actually chapter 1, because you have to deal with the root of the issue before you can get the wisdom and application. So my book is traditionally $10. I'll be selling it today for $8 or 2 for $15. If you want to purchase, I'm right back there in the look right there. You can talk it. I got it. Thank you, everyone.
Relates to your story and identify what you're going through. Because as a poet, you don't want to feel like you're writing just to, well, for no reason. Me, I can't write if I don't feel what I'm writing. So if it's not something on my heart, I can't write. Mm-hmm. So a lot of the time throughout my story, throughout writing the book, I was constantly asking myself, like, what's on my heart? What do I feel? Like, what's there to me? What do I want to express? Mm-hmm. And after I wrote the book, I started a 100 days of writing challenge, just to continue like the writing process, and also because like I felt like there was still some stuff that I needed to let off, to get out. And so throughout the 100 days, I constantly asked myself again, what's on my heart? What do I feel was close to me, was there to me? And I found myself, without even knowing previously, once I first started writing, asking the same thing, what's on my heart? What do I feel? And a lot of times what's on my heart is like the depression. The depression I call like, darkness. Everybody has a darkness that, is different across different people. So my darkness was dealing with depression. Figuring out like, am I enough? Am I worthy? Self-hate also played a role into like, that dark space that I was in. So the book itself explores that depression, the darkness, self-hate, finding yourself, finding out that you're enough. You're always enough. Yes. It don't matter like what anybody else has told you, what the media, especially as a black person, what the media tries to tell you, what the commercials, images, pictures and stuff like that. Black people, we're dope as crap. And it doesn't matter what Eurocentric pictures they put up and what they try to tell us about our features. We're always bomb. Like, we don't need these white places, white figures, white TV places to confirm or reassure us of our own beauty. We fit within that box, whether you want to put us in it or not. So one of the poems, especially growing up, I really had to like fight with myself about that. Because growing up, as a black female, you see TV shows, and on the TV shows, you don't always see people who look like you. Mm-hmm. And in the magazines, you don't always see people that look like you. So when you don't see yourself, you start to question yourself. You start to question if, you fit in, that standard of what beauty is. You start to reconsider, your features. And there was times where I was like, oh, I wish I had long hair. I wish it was straight. I wish I had white features. Or I wish I was traditionally pretty and stuff like that, because it was like something that you didn't see enough. Or if you, like I said, if you did see it, it wasn't enough. You didn't see it enough, and what you don't see enough plays a role into how you see yourself. So I had to fight out of that and really just unlearn certain stuff that I unknowingly picked up growing up. And then I have younger sisters, so my younger sisters, I started seeing, the repeat, the rule. Oh, gel, because that's my family thing. Oh, I want this type of hair. I want these type of features. And I was like, oh, we're not doing this. I already went through it. Y'all look pretty. You guys are beautiful. We're not about to start this cycle again. So I saw it with them, and it forced me to write a poem about, Black beauty. So I'm going to share it with y'all if y'all don't mind. Yeah. And it's called Doubts. That's something I was dabbling and going back and forth with, just questioning myself, am I pretty enough? Am I worthy enough? Okay. I wanted you to love yourself unconditionally, without limits and unapologetically. To love all your impeccable flaws that impeccably make you who you are. I wanted you to love away all the hate you had for yourself, erasing away all the days you weren't confident enough to look at yourself. And you used to walk with your head down, but into your insecurities, you drowned. You allowed yourself to sink in your own self-hate for so long it devoured the glow you would illuminate. And many days you wore an artificial smile that concealed your frown. You would find your way and getting lost in the crowd. You never wanted to be at the center of attention. You found discomfort in compliments. You questioned the giver's intention because you felt you didn't deserve to receive compliments on your aesthetics. Often you tried to pick up the pieces of your broken confidence and to disintegrate internalized beauty standards and love you in abundance. But when you built yourself up and walked confidently, you were broken down repeatedly and got called conceited. Why? For learning to accept yourself at times, you just felt defeated. You began to question, were you wrong? Is it wrong to be black and be a woman? To love being black and love being woman? Years you were blinded from seeing the magic in your African features. You saw what was considered true beauty on TV, and an African nose and thick lips often weren't the features of the majority. It was what you didn't see enough that was enough to make you question your own blackness. You didn't know you would be in question for years to come, asking things like, am I pretty enough? When can I stare at my reflection and love the person looking back at me? Is my black enough? What if I was a bit bigger with a thinner nose and smaller lips? Would I be pretty then? If I was a bit lighter or a tad darker, maybe then. It wasn't until 19 that your questioning was done. You stopped going to war with your insecurities. You found security and loved you undoubtedly. After all that time you deprived yourself of your own love, you finally were able to give I long overdue self-love. I asked you, the person I was not too long ago, why? Why didn't you think you were deserving? Because black girl, you've always been enough, more than enough. How could you call your blackness into question? My love, don't you know it's a blessing? Regarding your own worth, beauty, and power, why were you ever in denial? You, your worth, and your power is undeniably exceptional. I'm glad that I assembled all my jagged pieces to finally be wholeheartedly at peace with myself. Because I was once so broken. But now I can bid the old me farewell. I'm no longer holding myself back. Now I can truly excel. So that's all.